What's up everyone? Welcome to a new tutorial. I'm really excited about this one because it's kind of something unique. I'm calling it the isolation effect because you can isolate a subject, an object, a building, a person, pretty much anything, and make it pop out. So let's check out what it looks like. So as you guys know, I just moved to Texas and I'm currently in my new studio setup and I'm pretty stoked because I have a vlog coming soon. But as always, on all future tutorials, I give away one free version of my Ultimate Effects Pack. All you have to do is click the giveaway link in the description down below and follow those instructions. Now, the winner of my last tutorial giveaway is, boom, it is George with the comment, very good tutorial. Well, George, congratulations. Hit me up on Instagram and I'll send that your way. All right, let's get on into this tutorial. Let me know if you like this side camera too, because I'm trying something else out. Now that we're in Premiere, these are the clips that we're gonna be working with. They're pretty stationary shots, not a lot of movement going on, and that's going to make our job a heck of a lot easier. The first step is simple to pick your object that you want to isolate. So for this example, I'm going to isolate my Loop Deck Plus. And how you do that is with masking. So we have to kind of figure out what we want to do to this clip. Now, I want to isolate it by making the background dark. So what I'm going to first do is head on over to the color tab. Now that we're in the color tab, I'm going to start manipulating my image, and this affects everything. So I'm going to drag my exposure all the way down, maybe my highlights down, and I'm going to increase my blacks because I like the look that it gives. It gives this faded look. Now, you'll notice that in the effects controls tab, we have lumetri color there, and we can select the FX toggle button to toggle our color effects. So I'm going to leave that untoggled for the time being and come over here to the zoom level and change this to about 100%. And I'm going to drag my image around using these sliders on the edge to get close to my image. Now, one thing you should know is I would recommend going to the center of your clip to start. Now, all you have to do is select any of these mask options based on what you are doing. Typically, I'll always do the free draw Bezier and just click on the corners of my subject. And this does not have to be perfect. I would actually advise you not to make this perfect at all. And what we're going to do is select the toggle animation button next to mask path. And you'll notice that our mask went away. In order to see your mask, all you have to do is select mask in your effects controls panel, and that will bring it back up. All we have to do is go somewhere around the beginning and readjust our mask. So drag your corners, and as you'll notice in the left-hand side in the effects controls tab, when we drag this around, a keyframe will automatically be generated. Now let's go into the middle of these two keyframes and adjust again as needed, because Premiere does not have smart learning on mask yet. However, they do have a tracking feature, but it doesn't work that well, so I'm not making a video on it. Now let's go to the very end, and we may have to adjust our image around, and once again, drag your mask around your subject or object. And now one more time, go in the middle of the last two masks and adjust again. Cool, so as you can see right now, we have a very rough mask. I'm gonna toggle the lumetri color effect back on. As you can see, it blacked out our subject. All you have to do is click the inverted button and that will reveal our subject. Now, looking at it right away, it looks kind of harsh edges and it doesn't look that good. So mess around with the mask feather. I found that 200 works pretty well for what I want to do. If we zoom out to the fit level and we look at our video, you can kind of see that our object is being isolated. Now keep in mind that you can adjust all of the lumetri colors and get an interesting look based on what you want to achieve with this technique. If the actual image is too dark and you don't like how dark it is, that is going to require you to add another lumetri color effect and manipulate it that way by dragging up the exposure a little bit. It should be noted that when you are adjusting your background layer, you can keyframe anything from the exposure to the shadows and highlights to your contrast to make things pop, like I did in the second example in the beginning. The second example is the exact same process. You would go to the center of your image and adjust your exposure levels as much as you want, and then create a free draw Bezier mask around your subject. And this one I'm gonna go really fast just to prove to you that you do not need a perfect mask. So for this example, I'm only gonna create one in the center. I'm gonna make sure my Lumetri colors are unchecked so I can see my mask. And then I'm gonna drag these ones out to the edges again. And then I'm gonna go all the way to the end and then adjust my mask again. Now for this example, it's a really fast one where I only use 3 keyframes, and I'm gonna change the mask feather to 200. Retoggle my Lumetri color effect and select inverted. And looking at this at first glance, it doesn't look too shabby. So in order to make this background flicker, all you have to do is go into the basic correction and let's mess with the exposure and drag our keyframe to the very beginning. And I like to jump a certain amount of frames. So if you hold shift and the right arrow key, that'll jump you 5 frames in the right direction. And what I'm gonna do is change my exposure to 0, hold shift, go the right arrow key, change my exposure down to -7, and do this a couple times while holding shift and the right arrow key, because that will jump me 5 frames in the right direction. But looking back at it right away, you'll see that it just kind of goes in and out smooth and it's not very jittery. So all you have to do is highlight all of your keyframes, right click and select hold. That will hold that effect until the next thing happens. So this is how you kind of get that flicker effect like I had in the beginning example. Moving on to our final example right here, you can see that this is a more complex mask because we have our image and subject going out of screen, but the process is exactly the same. So we're gonna also do this one really quick. All you have to do is adjust your Lumetri color to an image that you like, and then untoggle Lumetri color in the effects controls tab. For this one, I'm not gonna start in the middle because my subject is already off screen. So I'm gonna go towards the beginning and then create a free draw Bezier mask around my subject. This looks good just like that. You can adjust it accordingly or add Beziers on the edges if you want. So let's select mask path, and then I'm gonna go to the middle, and you'll notice that my image is going off the screen. So what we're gonna do is change our fit level to about 25% so we can give us some room to work with, and select on our mask and then adjust it accordingly. So when it's off screen, you're just gonna have to guess where it's at. And then drag all your other corners out. Looks great. And let's go all the way to the end, and really it's so far off screen that I have no idea where it's at. So I'm just gonna drag this down here. That looks good. And I'm pretty happy with that. Again, I'm gonna change the mask feather to 200, and I'm gonna retoggle my Lumetri color and select inverted. So let's play back through this and see what it looks like. So I think it looks pretty dang good for isolating a subject. Always remember that you can modify the background at any time by playing around with the Lumetri colors over here if you want to get a different look. But this is a great way for product reviews to isolate a subject that you are talking about. So I think this effect is pretty dope, and I'm kind of excited to see what you guys make. And I definitely know that I want to try this out on buildings and different subjects in the future, because I may be able to make an advanced version of this tutorial. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's tutorial, and if you did, let me know down below. Hit that like button, and if you're new, consider subscribing because I'm gonna be making some more stuff in the future. I'll see you next time.